What is going on, everyone? The draft is slowly approaching. Who are the Houston Texans going to be selecting at 2? ESPN, they dropped a 7-round mock draft. It was done by Mr. Jordan Reed. We're going to be reacting to it and discussing it. But before we do that, guys, welcome everyone to the 713 Houston Sportcast. We drop daily Houston Texans content over here. We are so close to 6K. And also follow me on Twitter at 713HSP. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with this mock draft. And the Houston Texans, no surprise here, at number 2 overall, Bryce Young is going to be the pick here. Jordan Reed says Houston, which hired Coach DeMeco Ryans this offseason, is another franchise in search of his long-term answer at quarterback. Young would re-energize a team in need of a jump start. Despite his size, he measured at 5'10" and weighed 204 pounds at the combine, which would make him the lightest round one quarterback since at least 2006. Young has the skill to be the face of the franchise. The Texans also own the number 12th overall pick, which could be used for a playmaker around him. Now, we all know that Bryce Young most likely will end up a Houston Texan. CJ Stroud looks like is the mood in Carolina. If you follow the money, he is opening up at Vegas's, number 1 QB off the board. If you saw that Josh McCown snippet, he is doing the Lord's work for the Houston Texans. He told CJ, whenever you live down here, we'll get you a court here in Charlotte. Kind of an indication that they want CJ Stroud. Nonetheless, I am more than happy with Bryce Young, number 2 overall. And at pick 12, the Houston Texans will be selecting Jackson Smith and Jibber from Ohio State. The trade of Brandon Cooks to the Cowboys means the Texans lack playmakers around whoever the quarterback will be in 2023. With 12 picks, this could be the spot to get my top-ranked receiver in this class. JSN fits exactly what Houston needs. He has the upside to be a high-end complementary option as a rookie. Even though nearly 90% of his production came from the slot during his time with the Buckeyes, he has the route running ability, quickness, and catch radius to be productive from the outside at the next level. JSN will be a solid get for the Houston Texans. Here's where it also gets interesting at 12. There are some people, me, my friend Cody, and Harley the Lead, we're looking forward, looking to trading back the 12th overall pick, the late teens, early 20s, maybe selecting a Zay Flowers from Boston College. That would absolutely be crazy. At pick 33, Jordan Reed has the Houston Texans selecting Will McDonald, edge from Iowa State. If you watch the channel, you know we've mocked them here a couple times. I went offense on the Texans' first 2 picks, and McDonald would give them a young and explosive edge rusher for the defense. He will need to continue to make strides as a run defender, but he has the potential to be a player who can generate early pressures on passers. McDonald had 27 sacks over his final 3 college seasons. Look, edge is a huge need for the Houston Texans. I hope we address it in free agency. There's still Yannick Ngakoue out there, Jadeveon Clowney. I would love if the Houston Texans brought number 90 back, but edge is is a huge need, and I'm glad that the Houston Texans addressed that early. And at pick 65, the Houston Texans get their center, Luke Whipple from Ohio State. The Texans have a hole at center with the top free agents off the market. Taking one on day 2 of the draft is the best solution. I gave Houston quarterback Bryce Young at number 2, and Whipple, who started 26 games at center for the Buckeyes the past 2 seasons, could be his new best friend. How do you guys feel about a rookie center and a rookie QB going out there in week 1? I'm kind of hesitant, however. When you look at the way the offensive line for the Houston Texans was built, it only needs a center. You have 2 veterans in place, Laremy Tunsil, who you just made the highest paid left tackle in the NFL, and Shaq Mason, who you just traded for, who is going to do great work with Titus Howard, who's going to enter his contract year, and with the new center, Luke Whipple. I am liking the potential of this offensive line. I think it might be special, and you got to think, man, Damian Pierce and Devin Singletary. Hey, the Houston Texans could also get there and get a late round running back. The 49ers style of offense loves to use multiple RBs, so I love what this offense can potentially do with Bobby Slowick. And at pick 73, Deion Henry, linebacker from Washington State. This makes the 5th pick for the Houston Texans in this draft, and it can stockpile talent in key spots. Henry is one of the few true middle linebackers in this class. He has the savvy mobility needed to affect games in multiple areas. He had 106 tackles, 4 sacks, and 3 forced fumbles last season. DeMeco Ryans gets his linebacker in the 3rd round. DeMeco Ryans also kind of patted himself on the back and said, hey, Fred Warner was a 3rd round pick, and look at him now, one of the best LBs in the league. He doesn't really, talk about the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th round picks. He does name a couple of them. Andrew Voorhees fell to the Houston Texans in the 6th round. Let me see who else fell to the Houston Texans, just to let you know who we got. In the 4th round, the Houston Texans selected Jacorian Bennett, cornerback from Maryland. In the 5th round, the Houston Texans selected a tight end from Alabama, Cameron Latou. And let me see, at the 6th, it was Deuce Vaughn, running back from Kansas State. So they get their running back as well. I absolutely like this mock draft for the Houston Texans. You guys let me know how you feel. As always, go Texans. You have a very blessed day.